Hi, welcome to Tea Time with Lorna. So, how was my week? Wild, crazy. I went to a film festival in New York, met some interesting people. It was great. That's what I did last weekend. What did you do? Anyway, on the YouTube channel, you can always send me a note and let me know what you did that was wild and crazy. Anyway, so today our guest, or my guest, is a friend of mine. His name is Gregory Owens. What does Greg do? Let me tell you, he does so many things. He's so artistic. He sings, he's in plays and stuff like that. So I've come here today to share tea time with him and look at the array of tea he has that we're going to sample. I'm going to pick one that I'm going to enjoy, and we're going to have tea together and just chat and get to know each other a little bit more. So welcome, Greg.
Thank you, Lorna. Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay,
I'm a little afraid, but I'm doing well.
No, there's nothing to be afraid of. So tell me, before we get started, what tea are you going to have from the choice you've given us today?
I'm going to have wild sweet orange and mint majesty together.
Oh.
Ooh.
Why are you having them together?
I like it that way.
Okay.
It's very tasty. It's very refreshing, and I just like it. Mint and orange together.
Well, I'm going to have a peppermint. I think that'll be interesting. I like peppermint in general. So that's what I'm going to enjoy while we talk today. Okay?
Fantastic.
Let's have tea. So, Gregory, tell me a little bit about some of the things you like to do. Tell me a little bit about some of your hobbies.
Well, I don't have a lot of time to participate in hobbies right now because I have two jobs that take up almost all my time. That neither one are artistic. They're just like, hey, let's make money. And but anyway, if I had my druthers, I would rather be singing or acting.
Okay.
I studied vocal performance and opera at Oklahoma City University, just for 1 year, but I did study there, and spent my life on stage. Doing little things here and there, nothing big, nothing that anyone would ever have heard of. But love the theater and love to sing. Okay,
that sounds great. So tell me some of the performances that you've enjoyed the most. I'm
really fortunate because I was in a ginormous church in New York City and got to perform at Madison Square Garden and at the Apollo, which was just really cool being on that stage. You know, it's like going, wow.
What did you do at the Apollo? I didn't know this story.
Yeah, well, we had church services there sometimes, and so I would get to sing on the stage at the Apollo, which is really incredible. And not fearing that anyone would like boo me off the stage like I do so many times. So
I will share a story with you. So my son on a school trip went to the Apollo Theater and they had a look around. They had a great time. And at the end of the tour, he went on stage and he rubbed the wood, the tree bark that they have, and he stood there alone and he told a joke. Now he laughed, a few people laughed, and then he came up the stage and the teacher said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Because I can always say I performed at the Apollo." I thought that was very clever.
That's genius.
Then all the other kids run up and they all want to do it too, so it was pretty
just
fun.
Copycats.
I know. It's very fun. Tell me about your performance in, what did I see you in? The Addams Family.
The Addams Family, yes.
Tell me about that. How did you prepare for that role?
Well, on one hand, it was pretty easy because I played Gomez, the father, and my daughter, Tiffany, played Wednesday. And so a lot of that story centers around the relationship of Gomez and Wednesday. And so in that regard, it was easy getting ready to express the love that I have for my daughter and the love that he has for his wife. I really like Gomez because he and Morticia, you don't think about this, but they have an amazing marriage. Their marriage is absolutely fantastic. You can tell that they've been married a long time. You can tell that they're best friends. You can tell that they really are attracted to one another and they work together really well as a team. And they don't really conflict a lot. When they do, they work it out. You know, they always work it out. I love that about their marriage. And so in that regard, the preparation was relatively easy because I'm fortunate enough to have an amazing wife that helps me to have a great marriage. And so that part was easy. The part that was really hard for me is I had to tango. And I'm not so much the dancer. That was like the biggest part. And it was terrifying. So I was afraid I was going to hurt somebody, but I didn't.
Okay. Well, did they at least give you tango lessons?
Oh yeah. There's a choreographer, and she's amazing.
Okay.
So that was all well and good.
Okay.
And I really fooled people into thinking I could do it.
Yes.
Which is the whole goal of acting, is to, So,
yeah. Well, I have to admit, I saw the performance and I was really impressed. Now, what did you do to be vocally ready for that performance? Because if I remember rightly, you weren't feeling too well around about that time.
That's an understatement. I was quite ill. For the 2 weeks previous to that, I had absolutely no voice. I would try, and yet nothing came out. Until the day before, till the final dress rehearsal.
Okay.
But I didn't sing anything for 2 weeks. Couldn't. And so I just had to go on, just faith that it was going to come together, and training that I had received earlier in my life. I haven't trained in years and years and years and years. I haven't done anything that was productive vocally, I should say, for years. And so I was very fortunate that I had a great cast, had a great director, had a great musical director that was very supportive, and never once did they, so much of singing and performing is mental and emotional. They were all very supportive. Kevin Miller is an awesome director, and Will Deshawn is an amazing musical director, and I got to work with them. And so had a great co-star in Megan Aviles, and they were always very supportive, and so that helped me to be confident that I could do it.
Okay.
And no matter what anyone ever tells you, if someone is a performer, they're exceedingly insecure. So having that support around you is paramount. So
okay.
I think that, so for me, I just had some great training whenever I was young, and I was fortunate enough to be given a great gift. And so it all worked out.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, I know I also saw you do a nice monologue. I don't remember who you were playing. You did a monologue at the church.
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little bit about that character and how
Herod?
how you worked on that, because that was relatively quite long.
Yeah.
For a monologue, that was very, very long.
Herod was a really interesting guy. And
Okay.
I like delving into a character. And I really like characters that most people don't like.
Okay.
Meaning like, bad guys and stuff like that, crazy people. Because I have a lot of that in me. So I can relate. But I really like finding the humanity in those men, and connecting to it and making it justifiable.
Okay.
If that makes sense. 'Cause an evil person doesn't do evil things because they think they're evil. They're doing it because they think it's right. And so to figure out, why does this guy think it's right? Why does this guy think it's okay to be this way is interesting for me. So if I can connect with a character, I find that the lines, the words they're secondary, because they're going to come because it's real. I understand this guy. And so that's how I've studied Herod for on and off many, many times. And so I kind of have my mind wrapped around who he was.
Okay.
And so that's, get to know the character and the lyrics, the words come.
Okay.
Mint and orange, I'm telling you.
I'm still fascinated by why you would put those two flavors together. Where did this come from? One day you just they just fell together? How do you come up with this?
I used to work for Starbucks. I was a manager for a while, and I was a barista before that. And when you work behind the counter at places like that, especially the bucks, as we call it sometimes, you experiment with everything.
Oh, okay.
Because you get bored with just the plain old. You go, what would that taste like? I think that's how it came together.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, dude, that's good! And so, yeah.
Okay, so that is actually a mixture of which two?
Of Wild Sweet Orange, and this is Mint Majesty. I don't know what that is. First time I've ever had Mint Majesty, but it is delightful.
Okay.
But I usually use just a regular mint tea.
Okay.
But the Wild Sweet Orange is imperative. It's like the best orange tea that I've ever found.
Okay. So I think I might try that.
Take them home with you.
No.
I don't know if I've got two more. Oh, I do. Here, I've got this, a Wild Sweet Orange. That's the one that's imperative. And The mint is not as. This is a good one. It's got a little bit of mint in it, but not much.
Okay.
I don't know that I've got another one of those Mint Majesties.
It's okay. I'm really interested in trying the wild sweet orange.
Yeah, it's really good.
Which I assume tastes like
Orange.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
It's
Wow,
you're
it's really weird.
You're really, so insightful.
That's really why I want to have it.
It's very good.
Because that will be my fruit for the day. Mm-hmm. That's why.
Excellent choice.
I want to have it.
Now, if you'd like, we'll probably have to buy more wild sweet orange. Sometime come over and I'll make you iced tea.
Okay.
With the wild sweet orange.
Okay.
It's really, really good.
Do you have a mixture for that?
I use black tea. I use
Okay.
black tea and the wild sweet orange.
Okay.
Like I'll use like a 2-to-1 ratio black tea to wild sweet orange.
And what do? You boil your water first, you make your tea, and then you cool it off with the ice?
You make super strong tea and just pour it straight over ice.
Oh, okay.
Very easy.
Okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't need sweetener. It doesn't, it's really good.
Okay. So while this is a show about tea, I know that you also indulge in coffee.
That's an understatement.
So that's as far as I'm willing to say.
I know I'm not allowed to say the C word very often on this show. But yes, the dark nectar is my favorite.
What is this love you have for the other side? What is this love for the other side? I don't understand it. And yet we're still friends. I don't understand that either. Go ahead, please.
I think the second part of that confusion is more confounding than the first. I stopped drinking about...
You mean alcohol?
Yeah, alcohol about almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
I was very, very much into wine and just I love the whole process. I love I come from, my grandfather was a farmer, and so I have some agrarian tendencies in my family and in my background, and so I love agriculture, and so I was amazed at, like, you don't want me to hand that to you? The whole thing about the vineyard and the wine and how it, it's close to the land, and when you go to like the South, and you can make whiskey out of apple or corn or whatever. I just love so I would learn a lot about different, mostly wine, but different alcohols, and just thought the whole process of producing was incredible, so I'd like to taste the outcome.
Okay.
But when I stopped drinking, I was very sad. But so I found coffee.
Okay.
I had been a coffee drinker for a few years before that, but I really, really got into coffee and learned more about the production of coffee, and I'm really, really, really did you get really? I'm really excited when I find a new coffee, and just learning about the history of it and where it came from, and there's different regions, like there is for tea and things like that, and so different regions produce different flavors because of the agricultural aspect of it.
You do know you're the only coffee drinker I'll ever have on this show, right?
Oh, am I your favorite coffee drinker?
You are my only coffee drinker. Don't get too excited.
I won't. No.
This may not last either.
I know. I'll have another sip of tea just to...
Okay, don't get that excited.
Wow, that's really, really good. You should try this sooner rather than later, because it's really tasty.
Yeah, I do like that mixture. I really do like that mixture.
So, and I became quite the addict
of coffee.
Of coffee, yeah.
Okay.
And so, I drink coffee. No, it's not, but it's really good. So I drink coffee from early in the morning till late at night, and right now I have a very long work day, and so the end of my work day is a lot of driving, and so it helps keep me alive.
Well, I will say one thing. I never considered myself addicted to tea or anything like that because of the culture of where I'm from originally, but I didn't realize how much tea I drank until I came to America. When I came here and I could not drink as much tea as I used to, I started to feel like, wait, there's a problem. America's not going to work for me. And somebody said, well, how much tea do you drink? And I started to tally it up. And I was drinking between 11 and 15 cups a day.
But you're not an addict. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, you're not an addict.
But I never, that's not an addict because that's normal in England. We're not all addicted. That's not an addiction.
Tea, yes.
It's not listen, I just like it. People drink more than that of water. Are they addicted to water? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, I think you kind of need to be addicted to water to stay alive, don't you?
Anyway, I didn't realize that, like I said, I didn't realize I drank that much until, the culture of America doesn't lend...
This
doesn't lend...
desert, this tea desert in the world.
It doesn't lend to the ability to drink that much tea because it just doesn't. Because in the morning, in England, I could have 2 cups at breakfast. That's just breakfast. That doesn't even count.
Right.
Your day is just starting.
Right.
And then you get to work, that's 2 more cups, right? That's 2 cups.
Sure.
So that's already 4. 2 at lunch, you visit a friend, that's 2 more. 2 when you get home because you're exhausted, and 2 more at dinner. That's 12. That's like normal.
Well, I think also because you're actually having a cup of tea.
Yes.
I have a bucket of coffee.
Ooh.
So this cup, I wouldn't even... This is espresso.
That's 4 ounces. Probably.
Yeah, this is, nothing. So I'll have a 20-ounce cup of coffee.
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, but to your point, that's 4 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, so, for you would have 15 cups of tea, I would have 15 cups of coffee in a day.
That's a lot.
Why? I mean, you have 15 cups of tea. Why is it so bad for me to have 15?
Notice I'm so judging you, your 15 is addiction, but my 15, it's
perfectly normal.
But isn't that what we do with life? We have the same behavior, but yours is an addiction.
A problem.
Mine is
Yours
fine.
is a problem, but for me, I can control it. It does not control me. I control it. Yeah. Yes.
So, I don't know if I want to say I'm happily down to 4 cups a day or if I'm unhappily down to 4 cups a day. So I only have about...
Well, do you miss it?
No.
Or do you just not have time for it? Because it is a process. This is a process more, coffee a lot of times for me is what I call a CDS, a caffeine delivery system.
Oh, okay.
So it's simply, my DOC, my drug of choice, right? So I need the caffeine, you know what I mean? And not necessarily because I can't function without it. I'm just a very unpleasant person to deal with if I'm not having a coffee. I become very ugly. So, not that I'm that pretty anyway. But, so I'll have the coffee just to keep me at normal.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So, but this is a process. You can't just, coffee, just 5 billion places between here and wherever you're going that you can just pull in and grab a cup of coffee. Tea, you have to brew it. There's some sophistication to tea.
I think in my case, little things like in England, some places will allow you time to go make a cup of tea at tea time. Not everywhere. Some places, not everywhere.
No. But it is more the culture that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's way more... I'm not saying it's more acceptable than coffee. That's not what I mean. But if somebody is saying, oh, I need to have a break for a cup of tea, love, nobody's going to look at you funny. I think in America, if I'm like, oh, I need to take a break for a cup of tea, love, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? No, can't have a break. You're not having a break. What are you, crazy? So...
But then I go, I need a coffee break. They go, oh, yes, you do. Yes, definitely.
So... That's interesting, that dynamic, and it was actually easier than I thought to cut down. And again, it wasn't a deliberate conscious, it was out of necessity. There just wasn't the time in the same way. It's not the same culture in the same way. And also, getting up and getting my day going, I was functioning with just having 1 in the morning.
Right.
So that lost 1. And then lunchtime, I didn't, I'm very particular about my tea. So...
Really?
Yeah, just a little. So the ones that I wanted were not readily available out there for me to have at lunch unless I brought my own.
Right.
So now I'm bringing my own. Now how am I going to boil it? Where am I going to brew it? What's the sugar? What's the milk ratio? It's a whole shebang.
The cure is worse than the disease.
So it literally became a case of, I'll just wait till I get back home.
Right.
So that already lends itself to my going down from so many to 1 or 2 or 3. So I'll have 1 at breakfast, and then 1 maybe when I get in the house, and then 1 before bed. So that's already just down to 3, and then it's not every day. Some days I don't have the one when I get into the house, or the bedtime one. So
Now, if the opportunity arises throughout the day, is it something you have to stop and make a decision about? Or is it just like, it's an automatic, I'm having the tea?
well, it is a decision.
Okay.
And the reason I say it's a decision because not everywhere sells tea that is acceptable.
So that's what I mean. That's what when the opportunity arises
for good tea.
for good tea, is it like a default? You just go to that, or is it like going, do I really want? Yeah, I look at the time because like I will stop the world pretty much for a unique, really good cup of my DOC.
Yeah.
Something that I've never had before that sounds interesting, that's intriguing. I'll be like, you're okay. I'm gonna have coffee. You know, it just happens. You know what I mean? But or do you actually go through that? Because I really don't care what they think. Like I know we're supposed to have this important meeting, and the whole board of directors is waiting for us. I'm like, forget. I'm having coffee.
Well, the problem is, I'm not talking about the herbal teas. The herbal teas are fine. I don't need to prep the herbal teas. The herbal teas is fine. When it comes to the black teas, which are my teas, I'm very, very,
Particular.
very, 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 say that 100 more times.
Very,
particular. Yes.
It's kind of like my realies. Right?
So, you know, if we happen to be driving past somewhere and they're like, "Ooh, I'm running in for a burger from this burger place. Do you want a cup of tea?" The answer is no. I'm not getting a cup of tea from your burger
King,
joint.
yeah.
No, that's never going to happen. Even if I was dying and it was the final drink, I'm not doing
Burger
it.
King is a British company, is it not? So they should know what they're doing, right?
First of all, companies like that, and I don't know that they're a British company. I actually don't have.
We should do some research on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really don't know. But companies like that and their counterpart, McDonald's, they make their own tea.
I know.
Why do they make their own tea? It's all about money, I'm
I
sure.
know, yeah.
So they use the weakest, cheapest that they can use. So the first time I had a cup of tea from McDonald's, I actually thought it was I'm gonna say urine. I thought it was urine water. I looked at it and I thought, what is this? What is that? Like, the only reason I was certain that it could have been tea is because there was a string and a label at the end
That said tea.
that said tea. But other than that, I wasn't sure what it was.
I'm guessing the little tap at the end did it say
It had the
tea
word-
on it, or just have a T?
It had an M and the word tea was on the other side, and I thought, are they sure? Maybe this was a type error, because that looks very much like something. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Well, I'm surprised you even tried it. I mean,
I didn't say I
they-
tried it. I said the first time I saw some. That's
No,
what
you
I
said had tea. Go back and look at the tape. I think, but anyway, regardless,
I did eventually have some.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I did.
I'm sorry you did that.
No. I'll die.
Yes.
I'll die. Imagine.
Yeah.
I was desperate that day, though. I was desperate.
Well,
It was
I
awful.
resisted
was awful.
when they came out with McCafe, you know, and I'm not having that coffee. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay.
And finally, curiosity got the better of me, and it was a regret I will never, I will never recover from. Nothing good.
the same.
Nothing good will come from it.
Oh my god, it was so bad. I couldn't believe how bad it was. It was so bad I probably spoke about it for weeks. That's how bad.
And now we're stirring it all up again, so here it goes.
Yeah, but
Get ready, Tea Time with Lorna fans. Here it comes.
but for sure, it's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
You know, you can't make that same mistake
You
twice.
don't.
You don't.
And that's the thing, is I will dive headlong into a sea of caffeine headaches to avoid really bad coffee.
Okay.
But my standard has dropped quite a bit. I will drink, you know, just coffee from a diner or whatever that I never used to. I used to be quite the coffee snob.
Okay.
But there are certain brands I'm like, okay, that's just nasty. I'll suffer instead. So, but, yeah, it's not as common as it used to be.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your fascination with words. What is that about?
My fascination with words. I don't know if I have a fascination with words. We have a camera person here, and her tea's sitting here not being used. I'm going to pour it for her as I'm speaking. I love languages.
Okay.
And when I studied British literature in, I don't know if it was high school or college or whatever, I learned that, you know, poets and of course Shakespeare make up words. I figured they can make up words, why can't I? So I just do that sometimes. So I don't have anything like off the top of my head that I've done that with. What is she drinking?
I really don't know which one
this is the lemon and ginger. So how long does that have to be? I don't even know because
that one is a herbal tea. They usually have to go for about 5 minutes.
Okay, let's see what this says here.
What does it say?
I don't know. Good thing they come in a box.
I do know that while I have loved chatting with you, we are actually running out of time.
Oh.
Oh, no, we have some more time.
We have more time? Do we have time for her tea to sip? Because I would love to see. I would love to watch her shoot and sip at the same time.
So continue telling me about your words. Go.
I just like words. I used to make up words whenever I was younger. I don't remember any of them now.
Okay.
I'm not prepared for this segment, but
you were the one that told me you had an interesting word.
I know.
What does that even mean? Like, I like words, but when I use them, that's when I like them. Or when I play Scrabble. Or when I play Words with Friends.
You know what's really interesting? I hate playing Scrabble and Words with Friends because I freeze up and I can't think. Like, I can think of, like, the and, like, book, you know? But I can't, like... I've got some friends and they are, like, Scrabble... snobs, like Scrabble geniuses, and so I can't do that. Like, I'd freeze up, you know. So, but if we're just talking, like, words just come out, and I'm like, oh, that's a good word, you know. And so I don't know. This is
well, you know, the advantage you have, like you said, is the acting that you've done, the singing that you've done. They all lend to words. So.
True.
The more you read, the more words you learn, etc., etc. We all know this is not a new... I'm not saying anything that people don't already know. Yeah. So they all lend to stuff. So maybe that will help you play. I haven't played Word with Friends in years, at least 2 years. I think that bug has come and gone for me.
Yeah, I've known some people who are really, really into it still.
And they still play?
They're like trash talking about it and stuff. And I'm like okay.
And then another one came after that one that was similar to that. I forget what it was called, and everybody was on that for a little while.
I don't know.
I don't remember either. But
no, my wife is really a great word person. Like, she will, if we're watching Wheel of Fortune, 99 times out of 100, Sandy has the puzzle like that.
So then you need to go on the show.
I know. She went online, did one of the online assessment once, and they didn't call her. So she was like, fine, I won't do it. So, but
no, you got to keep going.
You got to keep trying. Yeah, she would be.
Don't give up.
So,
don't give up.
We could definitely, use the cash.
Who couldn't? Well, it's been nice talking to you today, Greg. I'm so glad you let us break into your house and have some tea with you today. I learned a lot about you, which was great. I loved it. I loved your teas, even though we didn't get to try them all. That's okay. My takeaway is, though, that I don't know if I'm ready to mix, but I certainly am ready to try the orange, and I like the mint. I've tried some mint before. Mint was one of my mother's favorite teas, and so I think that's one of the things I'm going to take away from my tea time.
Now, I would like Priscilla to sip, please.
Priscilla is going to have some tea. She cannot record and sip at the same time because I don't want her to burn herself. So we're not going to do that.
That's true. It's probably a bad idea.
But so next week, please tune in where my guest is going to be a dancer. I feel like I say that every week, but I feel like this is going to happen. So
I am not a dancer.
It's a dancer, and I'm hoping she'll do some pirouettes or something and teach us something, or maybe she'll teach me something in between having tea. So if you like the show, tune in again next week. I'll be here. And also, you can find me on YouTube at Tea Time with Lorna, and subscribe below and put your comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.